everyone. Am I audible? Okay. So, so my name is Pradeepta Mishra. I represent Data Safeguard Inc., which is a California-based startup. So we are into data privacy. So before starting my presentation, I would like to ask one question. What's the difference between data security and data privacy? So I'll start with that. Like, data security is about restricting unauthorized access to data. Right? Somebody is not having right access to data, you have to prevent it and you should not grant access. But what about the privacy? Do you want your personal information to be made public by someone else? Probably not, right? So you will start with, like, you can start, many companies, they have started with access management systems and consent management systems. What does that mean? That you are authorizing, okay, I want my personal data to be utilized for marketing, for something else, some other activities within the organization, yes, I authorize. But if I don't authorize, you are not supposed to share that data with any third party, right? So that's where it starts, the data privacy. And in this segment, if we look at, so there are a lot of data breaches that is happening globally, right? So we have different laws globally, and that's my second slide, which talks about slides like GDPR, like CCPA, like these are all global laws that are designed to protect privacy information, that are designed to protect the personal information, the PI, that is personally identifiable information, which are not supposed to be shared in public platforms. So one recent incident that you can see here, which is about 81 crore Indians' personal information data was leaked in the dark web. So this is Aadhaar related data, which was leaked, right? Now, how can we protect the personal data? So recently, 11th of August 2023, DPDP Act was passed, right? Data Protection, and this Data Protection Act got passed in this year only, right? And organizations have been given a mandate within 18 months, they have to be compliant. All the organizations, they have to be compliant within next 18 months. If they are not compliant, then there is a penalty. What's the penalty, can you guess? 250 crores. 250 crores, irrespective of the revenue that the organization is making, or irrespective of the profit that the organization is making. So the penalty is up to 250 crores. Now, how do organizations become compliant with the DPDP Act? This is a bigger question in Indian market right now, and various organizations, they are looking for consultants, they are looking for other players to guide them, to mentor them, and tell them that what they're supposed to do. So in this context, I'm going to talk about like the two scenarios. One is the data privacy fines and the penalties that is being imposed on various organizations. So 300 plus companies, if you look at 30 plus countries, the bigger ones are represented here. Salesforce have been fined, Salesforce plus Oracle, $10 billion fine. They have paid fine. Facebook, $5 billion. Amazon and Didi, if you look at, so total it's around another $2 billion, right? So if you look at this data privacy space right now, a lot of data breaches happens, and because of which the PHI and PAI, personally identifiable information and personal protected health information, those kind of information are being leaked, and that's a problem. Okay. Now, what is synthetic fraud? That is another angle to data privacy. Synthetic fraud means artificially creating identities. Like, if I'm a human being and I have my Aadhaar card and PAN card number, now I will take Aadhaar card number of someone else and PAN card number of someone else, and I create one identity, which is a digital identity. And taking this digital identity, I can take loans from fintech apps. I can do something else, right? The hackers can create the digital identity, which is a fake identity, and that leads to synthetic fraud. So synthetic fraud, like if you look at the estimates, and this market is like quite big. The synthetic fraud market is quite big. And especially in my friend circle, one of my friends, he worked for a large organization for almost 18-20 years. He has never taken a loan in his life. So first time he applied for a home loan, he got to know that there are 2 loans which are pending in his name, and he has not paid it back. And this is the reality. If you look at, so how this happened, whenever this person has not applied for a loan, but there are 2 loans going on his name, and it's not being paid. So that's why the synthetic fraud is also, it's becoming very, very rampant nowadays, and it will also increase in coming days. Why? Because of the digital penetration and the data sharing. various organizations. So suppose I have a database, I have a partner, I can say, hey, you can have access to my data for marketing purpose, for any other purpose, right? So data sharing happens, but if data sharing happens, then how do you protect your PII information or PHI information so that you can prevent this kind of digital fraud or synthetic fraud, okay? So having said that, what we do and who we are, so we deal with the two types of data, sensitive data and personal data. So we segment into two categories. So in the middle, you can say, we call it a human bubble. Human bubble means different components like your identity, your financial transactions, your historic information like health information. If all of those information I can combine together, I can create a synthetic identity. I can create artificial identity, and I can do whatever I want. I can change your password for your bank account. I can change your probably the password for any other sensitive data or portals that you may have. I can change it. Now that's where the problem lies. How do we make sure that whenever we are sharing the data, the PII data is masked or protected or redacted? So there are two ways to prevent it. One is masking, one is redaction. What is the difference between masking and redaction? So masking means if you want to reuse the data, you should be in a position to unmask it and use it for your own purpose. So let's take an example. I'm a data provider, and there is a marketing department who is asking for data. I have to give some data for the marketing campaign. They have to make a call to the customer. They have to initiate some conversation. So because of which I need to share the data with them. Now if I mask it and I'll tell them the code, okay, you can unmask it this way, they can make calls and they can complete their task. But if they are not supposed to know my customer's database, if they are not supposed to know my customer's contact numbers, I should be in a position to redact it. Redaction means permanently deleting the information, permanently deleting the PII information from the database. Now in that case, unauthorized access can be controlled easily, and also people with required permissions, they can have access to the data. So masking and redaction, the difference here, why I'm trying to tell that many organizations, they are currently doing masking in a certain way. So there are some SSL algorithms or double SSL algorithms which people use to do masking, but that's not foolproof. Why? Because I can use AI and I can give different permutation combinations to unmask it. One of the combination may work. So that's why masking may not be the foolproof solution, but within the organization, if marketing department, AI ML department, they want to build AI ML models, or some other engineering department, they are building some applications, they need access to data, I can do masking internally. But if I'm sharing my database with my partners or external entities or any other person, I don't want them to know my data, so I have to redact it. So that is why we offer 4 kinds of products. The first product is ID mask, second product is ID redact, third one is anti-money laundering and synthetic fraud. So those 4 kinds of products, and currently the ID redact product that we have, this is to redact or completely delete the PII information and the PHI information from your databases. And this product we have recently launched in Amazon, recently launched on Azure Marketplace, and you can download from Azure Marketplace and install it and start using this product to redact your own data. Okay. Now having said that, the next step in this segment, this ID redact product, it is maybe it's not visible. Okay. So this ID redact product is about it makes you compliant with the existing laws, the GDPR laws. It makes you compliant with the CCPA, NIST. So all kinds of legal mandates or rules or whatever is required will make you compliant. Now we are entering into Indian market right now, and we are also building and we are making this product available in Indian market. And this will make you DPDP compliant, which means the DPDP Act that we have currently, it has certain restrictions, it has certain guidelines, and if you maybe go ahead with ID redact, that will help you making your organization compliant with the DPDP Act. And obviously we have a timeline around 18 months and we have to be compliant as an organization. Okay. So we are now recently, so it's like we have started the functioning August 2021, we started operations. We are into the business for last 2 years. 2 years, recently we just completed 2 years. And so within these 2 years, we have many clients and we have done many partnerships also. So we have partnership with Oracle, we have partnership with Snowflake, we have partnership with Microsoft Azure and as well as Salesforce. So as partners, so they are also recommending to their clients that to go ahead with ID Redact, and why we want to do partnership with why we are open to newer partners are there, because we want to increase or we want to spread the news that okay, there is a product which can make you compliant, there is a product which can help you do masking and reduction of your organization's data relating to PII and PHI. Okay, now why it is important is, first thing is it will help you comply with the data privacy laws. It helps your client to gain and retain the customer trust, so that nowadays, I mean, how many of you are getting at least 2 calls a day for a loan or a credit card? 20 calls, right? How many of you are receiving the calls? Almost everyone is receiving calls, right? How come they are getting your mobile number? Right? Because someone has shared your mobile number with them. You must have given your mobile number in some, let's take on some shopping mall, or it is in some hotels. So I have written in the diary or somebody, right? Now that's how they get your mobile number, and they have built a database, and this database is available publicly, right? So nobody would want that, right? From privacy point of view, I don't want my mobile number to be circulated between different people over the internet. Now that's because as a client, if I have a database, I'm not supposed to share my customer's database with anyone else, right? I have to mask and redact it. That is why if I proliferate the PII data amongst the clients, I lose my customers' trust. My customers will not believe me, right? So that is why it is important to do masking and redaction. Redaction is permanently deleting the data that we are supposed to do as per the DPDP Act. But yes, there has to be a protocol that need to be followed. There has to be certain nuances that we have to do, right? So this data, this ID Redact protocol that I'm talking about, we are dealing with structured data, unstructured data, semi-structured data, all. Now we have a patented patent pending. Recently, we filed the patent. Unstructured data, PII reduction. So for example, you are sending an email, okay, hey, this is my bank account number, this is my password, but you did not actually send the bank account number and password to someone over email. The next email has the ID and password. Now someone has to connect both the information and decipher it, and again use these credentials to access your bank account number, right? So which means context is important. So we have used AI, ML and NLP technologies to understand the context. It is not about understanding the PI elements that is present in the data, but it is about connecting this PI element with the context that is present. So context means whatever text you are writing over email, or whatever text you are writing in your PDF file or Excel or CSV or any kind of Word document, if you are writing the context or you are writing a text with the elements, which we are in a position to redact it. We can detect it, we can identify it, we can confirm it, and we can redact it. So that means all kinds of data, whether it is structured data, unstructured data, or emails, any form of data, if there is a data exchange of a PI information happening, then we are in a position to redact it. Okay? Now that will help this redaction process if we rightly redact it. So this will help the clients to reduce the risk of compliance. They can meet the compliance guidelines. And obviously, see, the data is, as someone said, the data is the new oil, right? So the data is the new oil means maybe the organizations are operating from different geographies, like someone is operating from Australia, New Zealand, or South Africa, or US, or Canada. The company is operating from different places. The data privacy law is local. If I don't have a data privacy law here in India, now they can do anything. Now, data privacy law protects the individuals in the locality. However, the data providers or the organizations who are storing the data, who are using the data for some other purpose, they are multinational. So that is why it is important to ensure that whenever you are storing the data, you have to be compliant. Whenever you are exchanging the data or you are meeting a DSR, data subject request, a different department is requesting some data, I am sharing it, I have to ensure that I am not sharing any kind of PII information. So that is why the benefit here is, if we provide this data privacy solutions to the organizations, this will make them compliant, build trust, you will get customers' trust, and at the same time, you will also be able to have more partners. You will be able to get more, you can say, revenues. I mean, how revenues? Because somebody is doing a ransomware attack on your system, they will not get anything because it's redacted. you can just get away with it. You can simply say that, okay, take it, no problem, I'm not going to pay anything. So if the redacted information is getting hacked by someone, it is of no use to the hacker also. So that is why it is important to ensure that the redaction is happening rightly. And this is our website, so we can we can connect and we can talk in one-on-one. So after this meeting, I'll be available for next couple of hours, so we can connect and we can discuss the modalities on how to take it further. Thank you.